Please subscribe to our channel and give a thumbs up to our video. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss the IGCSE, Business Studies. So the exam board we're discussing is the CIE, and the paper adopt is from the 2019 winter series. Okay, so I would like to use this video to talk about the human resources management. So this is the topic we are going to focus on today. So I've put the question here, I've put the case study here, and this would be the question and the answer here to have a better illustrations. Let's get started. In the question, it talks about there are a lot of stakeholders. Okay, for both 𝐚𝐜 of course is the as you can see in the case. Okay, so this 𝐚𝐜 would be the I would say the owner of the business, right? Okay, so we might put that down. This 𝐚𝐜. Okay, so this 𝐚𝐜 would be the shareholder, or you may call it owner. Okay, it's the shareholder. So right now, okay, the shareholder and the employees, they're the stakeholders. Okay, so that means they are interest. Okay, they're involved. Okay, so let's put that down. What is the meaning of stakeholders? That means interests are involved. So they have their own interest in the business. So next, move on. We have to identify the objective, the same objective for these stakeholders, and conflict with each other. So let's take a look the objective. So this one, I would say there are a lot in the answer. There are a lot of objectives. They're the same. Of course, I will pick this one, survival. Okay, survival must be the likely objectives they would like to obtain, I would say, because okay, they always want, okay, that's their personal interest, right? So that when they survive, when the business survive, then it's favorable to their personal interest. They have money, right, to make a living. So that's good for their personal interest. Of course, okay. So, but think about it. So what would be conflict with the shareholders and the employee? So of course, a lot of students may answer this one. The wages. Think about it. If you give higher wages for the employee, then what will happen? Think about it. If you give higher wages to the employee, that means the return to the business or to the shareholder. You may say to the business or shareholders. To the business or the shareholders may drop. Okay. It will drop, right? So that means, so that's the conflict interest. That means if you paid higher if you pay higher wages to those employees, they are very happy to the employee. But okay, when the employee they're happy, how about the shareholders? They will receive less return, right? So the shareholders, they won't be happy. So that's why we call it conflict. Okay, one, for the employees they're happy, for the shareholders they are not happy. Okay, now when you try to answer the question, so let's take a look. Okay, so this is a good indicative responses. So the owners want to make higher profit, so that's the owner wants to be happy. So so the owners want to be happy. When the owners want to be happy, how about the employees? The employees, they may suffer. Okay, so the employees won't be unhappy about this one. Okay, so this is how we answer this question. Okay, so one stakeholder becomes happy, and then for the sake of other interest. So this is how we answer it. But you cannot get full mark, okay, if you just do it this way, because you can only get 4 marks up to here. Yep. Okay, so let me put this down for you. If you do it like this, the maximum mark you can get here, that's 4 marks only, because you haven't make the you haven't make the application. Okay, so what is the meaning of application? So let's highlight. So that means you have to make use of the case to answer the question. So here in the last part of the item, so there are a lot of possible application marks. I will use one to illustrate the examples. Say for example, so let's take a look. One of the objective of the business. So right now the objective of the business, they want to expand. Okay, so if they want to expand, so that means they have to grab, they have to cut, okay, cut cost, okay. So they have to cut the cost. Think about it. They might need to cost saving for the money to expand. Of course, this one would affect the wages, okay, of the employees. So this is okay how you make use of the possible application mark. Okay, so as you can see from the case, in the case they talk about they want to expand. Okay, so let me highlight that for you. Okay, so here in the okay, so let's read the left the left hand side of the video. So they want to expand. Okay, so they would like to expand. This one would, okay, of course, is a cost reducing. They have to save money. Okay, so you may mark it down. Okay, they have to save money, so they may not have room to increase the wages. May not have room to raise the part-time employees' wages. So this is how we answer that. Okay, so you can see we make use of the data in the case to do the application. So that's all for part 2A. For part 2B, the question is listed here, and I've put down the answer, and also the marking guidelines and in the video. So in the second part of the 2B, okay, so it concerns about the leadership style. Okay, so you may take a look in the case. So what would be the leadership style right now? So let's take a look the 5th paragraph. Okay, so they will think about autocratic leadership styles. Okay, so also there are some examples about what kind of autocratic leadership styles they're going to use. Autocratic, that means one side direction. Okay, let me mark that down for you. Autocratic, with one side message. Okay, so no, they do not concern about feedback. Okay, no feedback or no discussions. So, and you can see in the case there are some examples about how they use the autocratic leadership styles. For example, they just place the notice on the notice board, okay, without discussing with the employees. Now, on the other hand, you can see, on the other hand, nails have different, I would say, opinion. Nails talks about delegation to the employees. Okay, so this is about another one. Okay, so this is another leadership styles. So this is not autocratic. Okay, so this is about giving. Okay, giving tasks to employees. So this is what we call, you may say, laissez-faire. Okay, so let's mark this down. This is what we call the laissez-faire, okay, leadership, right here. Okay, now we have to discuss the advantages and the disadvantages they are going to use. Okay, so so you can see there are, of course, three leadership styles that you may discuss. Okay, autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. And you may put down the advantages and disadvantages of them. Okay, I would like to go through some of them with you. Say for example, for the autocratic one, you may see that for autocratic, you just put it in the notice board. Then it would be a very quick decision to be made without discussions, right? But the disadvantages, of course, it may be demotivating to the employees. On the other hand, let's take a look about the laissez-faire. For the laissez-faire, so of course you can motivate your employees if they feel they have the control, but but they may make bad decisions. Okay, as you can see here in the paragraph, it talks about Neil won't carry out all the management. Okay, so you might discuss the advantages and disadvantages of these leadership style. There are total 3 leadership styles. I would like you to take a look at the right hand side of the video and take a look how would they give marks. Okay, so 1 mark for 3 marks. Okay, that means of course the first one you talk about, okay, when they try to give decision making for the employees. Here, when they try to give decision making power for the employees, is called the laissez-faire. You have to pinpoint that out. Now for level 2, then you have to give additional explanation. Say for example, I will show you how to do that. First one, you have to put down the definition. What is meant by laissez-faire? Okay, so laissez-faire means leaves decision making to the employees. And number 2, you have to talk about the advantages. So the advantages would be they feel they are important and valued, such that they would work harder. Okay, as they are motivated. Good. And then number 3, we have to talk about the disadvantages. So as you can see in here, so the objectives are too broad. Okay, so the employees may not carry out these objectives as the owners want. So that means there are deviation. Okay, so there are deviation. So there are things you can add. Say for example, why they cannot carry out the expectations of the owners is because they are part-time employees. Okay, they lack of experiences of the part-time employees. So if you can do it like this, then you can grab level 2 if you can answer such paragraph. So before we move on, I would like to highlight what would be the broad objectives of the owners. Okay, so if you go back to the paragraph, then you will see the objectives of the here, of the objectives of the business. Okay, so the objectives of the business, it talks about they have a lot of things to think about. Okay, they have a lot of things to think about. So the part-time employees may not have any ideas to do it. Okay, so you may also further to highlight what happened to what are the work arrangement for the part-time employees. So say for example here, the part-time employees, they will work only when they need for an event. So that means they won't have their inexperiences to make the decision. Okay, so they are not experienced to perform the business objective on their own. Not experienced. So yeah, so you need to make use of the case. Okay, now so this is all for level 2. Now for level 3, now if you give limited recommendation, then you get 7 to 8 marks. Okay, so if you can give well recommendations, then you get 9 marks. Okay, so what is the meaning of well recommendation? We can take a look the marking guidelines. Okay, so in the marking guidelines, so there are possible application marks you can do. Okay, say for example, so there are only 10 full-time employees. Okay, and you have make use of the notice board so far. Okay, so you may I would say you may keep using the effective way and efficient wage. Okay, that you used before. Okay, way used. Okay, so that's one of the advantages because it's very effective, right? So that's one of the way I would give. I will do one more point. Okay, so there are only 10 full-time employees, so they might not be well trained and reliable. Well trained. So you might not pick, you might not pick the suitable one to do. I would say to perform the task. Okay, for you. So here, so that's why. Okay, if I do this case, I would use the autocratic. Okay, I would recommend the autocratic one. Okay, because the notice board is very effective, and there are only 10 employees. So I would say they might not be well trained. Okay, so this is my answer. Okay, so remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe to our video. Thank you.